sorry about that. I'm an idiot. I haven't been doing this for 11 plus years and didn't completely forget to turn on my microphone there. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't accuse me of facts. This is America. We don't do this. Hello there. My name is Danny and I am an ex-Jehovah's Witness born and raised. And today we're going to be, as usual, kind of doing the old school video reply style of video, which is in live time. For the first time, I'm going to be watching this video from Wally, aka JW Thoughts, on the governing body update number 3 for May 2026. It's basically also going to be there for a live reaction.
Soon, the 2026 Eternal Happiness Conventions will begin. It's encouraging to see many families and individuals make arrangements to attend the convention in person. This year's convention includes over 60 videos. Much work goes into preparing each part of the spiritual program, including the music video presentations.
Oh, God.
This is a bit interesting. I did an experiment to really show this because I read every single Watchtower from 1 year and awake. And then I read every single printed material that they made for a year, you know, in modern times. I think it was like 1995 versus 2024, something like that. And the difference was like 100 hours. And if you combined all of the videos that they produced as well, the difference was still nearly 100 hours. It's insane how much less they produce as far as spiritual food goes, while at the same time spending hundreds of millions of dollars in order to build new movie studios, this fake little city in Australia to make the good news according to Jesus, and ostensibly they're going to be shooting the good news according to the Acts of the Apostles or whatever it's called there as well. Why are they spending so much more money to make so much less? Bit of a curiosity.
We know you enjoyed watching episodes 1, 2, and 3 of the Good News According to Jesus video series.
No.
When they were released at the 2024 and 2025 conventions. We're pleased to inform you that new episodes of the Good News According to Jesus will now be released prior to each convention series. Therefore, the episodes for this year's convention, episodes 4, 5, and 6, are now available to view on jw.org and in the JW Library app. Of course, these videos will be featured at our 2026 regional conventions. Many of you may still choose to wait until the convention to watch these feature-length Bible dramas. We leave this up to each family to decide. This adjustment.
So now Mark Sanderson is talking like and trying to do his best, basically Stephen Lett impression. He's now dumbed it down to where he's talking to a 4-year-old again. You are his proud 4-year-old he's talking to. Why do you have to talk to him like they're a 4-year-old toddler or a fucking dog? Like, I swear, it's so disturbing, dude. And I'm willing to bet that's why he was chuckling there in the middle of that, saying, some of you might wait until I'm gonna stab you. Sorry, my bad. Intrusive thoughts, I have to let the win. I'm goofy, I'm gonna stab you. Give me your throat. I have so much fun with that. I think that's why he was chuckling, yeah, in the middle of that, because it wasn't because, oh, he thinks it's so great that, like, some people treat it like, you know, that, no spoilers, right? Like it's an actual, like, feature film or something. I really believe it's because of the fact that he knows how stupid this whole act has on, and the way he's talking to them and dresses them is. I really believe that that's why he's doing that.
Allows parents to preview the content first, and then prepare their young children for what will be shown at the convention. We encourage parents to read the Bible accounts together with their children, perhaps during a family worship session. Please remind your children that these accounts are recorded in the Bible to show how Jesus is far more powerful than the demons.
Family worship session. I'm sorry, I just got a flash to like black Southern Pentecostals or Methodists or others like that. That was weird. Usually it's really them, these like more evangelical types as well, that are always the ones that are like overly enthusiastic, and so they always call it like a worship session, right? Family worship. Not that long ago, we were calling it, or I should say, Jehovah's Witnesses, and those, I guess, technically we, because those of us that were outside of it, whether PMO or we left, we successfully did, always knew it as and called it and referred to it as book study or Bible study. Like, either way, that's what you call it, because that's what it really was. And it did remove that kind of more traditional, let's face it, advertising and marketing branding that every other sect of Christianity uses. That itself just was jarring to me, because it's like, what? It's a Bible study or book study, isn't it supposed to be that? Why are, like, I know you're trying to go more mainstream, but that isn't really mainstream at that point, I feel like. But
With Jehovah and Jesus on our side, we have nothing to fear from wicked spirits.
Now, looks like Timu Jason Alexander is suddenly all interested in making sure that nothing is going to be scary for children. It got me a little bit curious because historically, obviously, Watchtower has absolutely no problem in terrorizing the minds of little children. Just take a look at the first half of the Bible story book. A man who has been killed with a mallet. Another person who's been stabbed and robbed with his family watching. Someone that is being choked and bullied, and someone else having their food stolen. An animal, fully in fur and horns and everything. You can even see the animal's face completely engulfed in fire. You see a group of people struggling to survive. Increasing water that's falling, and including a mother holding a baby. This is obviously talking about Noah's flood. See a man being pushed off of a building, and another man who is approaching someone else with a knife. Not sure what his intentions are. Maybe they're just sharing some of their tools at the work site. An entire town, village, whatever you want to call it, being completely engulfed in fire, and a woman who's been turned into a pillar of salt because she committed the crime of looking at said bonfire. Slavery. A little bit more slavery, but this time with actual people being beaten. A child who has been killed by an angel of God. A group of men who has been drowned, along with their horses as well. Another child who has been bitten by a snake and potentially isn't going to make it. Another group of people who have been bitten by snakes and potentially might not make it. Animal abuse. More people falling from very tall places that I'm not entirely sure that they're going to make it out on the other side. A man with a tent peg in his hand. More people falling from heights with dubious consequences, to say the least. And finally, a man holding a baby by his ankles with
upside down.
I don't know what in his eyes, but he's holding a knife, and situation looks pretty bad. And we don't have time to go through all of the horrible mental manipulative things that go into those Caleb and Sophia videos, from not eating cupcakes to not signing birthday cards to talking about how gay people can get into paradise. The whole thing is a real wild journey. But now all of a sudden he's like, okay, well, we want to make sure we're going to release these early, which I think is a first now, so that way parents can review it if they so choose. So, obviously, being a pretty curious person myself, I thought I would give the new Jesus dramas a watch. And
just the animation quality itself is creepy to me. The Caleb and Sophia things. I mean, it's so low quality. It's so bad. Like, this is exactly the level of animation quality that they had, and like movement packages and stuff that they had in the late 90s and early 2000s for a lot of games, and even through the mid 2000s, but especially it was late 90s, early 2000s. So it's kind of like the first rigging of 3D, you know, animation, and it was like this slow and this bad and rough and robotic. It's not nice. It actually comes off as very creepy. Especially if you actually hate animatronics, psychologically they know that one of the main reasons that people find animatronics to be so creepy and disturbing is actually the movement type that they have, which is very robotic. It's also very slow and a little too deliberate. It just comes off as weirdly disturbing. Probably, if I had to speculate, because it's unnatural. Because robotics are not natural things. And especially when you try to make it into a living being, that's probably exactly what it is. That your brain is understanding that and being like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, this is disturbing to me. This shouldn't be real. This shouldn't exist. Probably shouldn't, but that's a different story.
It was kind of strange because the scenes that I think they're talking about aren't very scary and unsettling. They're almost comically campy, if you will. Take a look at what Jesus looks like when he is expelling demons. He's being Russell Crowe and pretending he's the exorcist.
There was a man in their synagogue who was under the power of an unclean spirit.
So that you may marvel.
What have we to do with you, Jesus the Nazarene? Did you come to destroy us? I know exactly who you are, the Holy One of God.
Be silent and come out of here.
I love how you could tell at one point early in this that the Jesus character was trying not to laugh. You had to stifle a laugh, and then a little bit later that this guy is fucking doing the same thing. You can just see the grins that they're trying to just devour so that it doesn't bleed through and they're doing a bad job. It's so funny. You can tell how much they laughed at how stupid this is.
And the unclean spirit, after throwing the man into a convulsion and yelling at the top of its voice, came out of him.
It's a boy! That dude on the right was 100%. He had laughed so many times, you can tell. That's 100% laughing twinkle in his eye. And the fucking smile he had that slowly went away. That was 100%. I was laughing so hard at this one. I'm trying so hard to not do it again.
Demons also came out of many, crying out,
"You are the Son of God!"
Be silent. Come out of him.
but rebuking them. He would not permit them to speak, for they knew him to be the Christ.
This couldn't even win a golden raspberry. I'm sorry, I can't. It's that bad. It's so bad that they'd have to create a brand new award for how bad it is. And this is the shit. This is the quality that they're doing to have their own fucking Ramapo studio, their own massive movie studio that's literally basically going to become its own city in itself, with multi-story buildings and everything else. And they're this massive lot of nature that they just decimate so that they can manipulate it into their purpose-built structure and city, mini city for literally basically Studio City. This is seriously the quality. This is the shit that they're making a whole movie studio for. Holy Christ. The actors in the free promotional DVDs you can get for like boating and RVing, you know, driving and owning RVs, is literally, the acting in it is so much better than this is, and it's very campy there too. It's very cheesy or corny. Like, this is a next level terrible.
Come out of her. You are free.
And that's my basic plan. Give them thousands of wrong ideas as the most efficient way to give them the truth.
The only actually good actor they even had was that woman. She was actually good. She was convincing in her in that role. Everyone else was so horrifically bad. She literally was the only good actor so far in this whole thing that they've had. Like, she probably belongs as an actress, really. So her voice, you'll notice that the one woman character they have who's supposedly possessed, and they had to add a cheap voice modifier to it. That's the one they added the weird, stupid special effect to, which is basically just reverb, distorted reverb. It's literally just distortion and reverb. That's all they added to that. That's literally anything else. So basically warbling. But they did that with the female character, and I find that to be very telling because clearly they think that the men have the correct scary voice, right? You know, project what they want them to, which is the supposed like anger and fury of the supposed dirty, evil, nasty spirit inside of them, and the fear that they have otherwise, and then the supposed awe and shock and gratitude they have, realizing that Jesus has rescued them. I think about what's also funny is that, which I didn't think about until now, that was also the only character that Jesus had to specifically tell her that she was safe. If you hadn't noticed. Everyone else, he hadn't had to tell them a thing. He hadn't had to say a simple word. Just a little gently put his tips on their shoulders and, oh, God, it's amazing. I haven't taken a shit like that in weeks. I've been uncorked. Constipation relief faces. It's pretty much what it was. So, yeah, it's very telling because apparently women can't do what they want them to in terms of the vocalizations that they need and they want. Even though she was the best actress by far. If they didn't apply that, it would have been even more believable because she was actually a genuinely good actress. She played that part perfectly. So even vocally, I think it would have worked if they just left her alone. It would have worked better, actually.
What's so scary about this? I don't really get it. Maybe it's just because I'm, you know, a 30-year-old man and these things just don't resonate with my brainwaves anymore. I don't really know, but it doesn't seem to be anything even remotely problematic. Like, even there's a lot of scenes, I'm going to do a video talking about all of the new Jesus dramas, but there's a lot of scenes where people are being cured of various like skin diseases, leprosy, things like that. And I suppose those could be graphic, but I don't think that that's what he was talking about, because he specifically mentions read the accounts with your kids where Jesus is Russell Crowe, and, you know, so that way they know that that stuff's in the Bible. Which, again, I don't know why I said that, but that leads us to the thing that no doubt every single ex-Jehovah's Witness is thinking, seeing Watchtower make videos with people possessed by demons. They have made, over the years, so much printed and video content about the danger of getting close to viewing anything that's demonic. They have made this something that is a bit of an obsession of theirs. They really want people, and I know this because I lived as a Jehovah's Witness, and you grow up and like the Lord of the Rings comes out, and well, are you going to watch Lord of the Rings or not watch that? I was in the camp where me.
I have to point out that kid is not a paid actor. That kid was so well. Not only we know that. My point being, she's not. I guarantee he did not want to be a part of that filming session, whatever the fuck this is, for their output. But you can tell that's 100% genuine. That kid is pissed that he's there. He does not believe a word that's being said. He is not invested at all. He does not want to be there. You could clearly tell that. And again, because they only use their own members, because as a kid, I'm sure his mom was on the left, so therefore that's why he had to be there. That they just basically chose this family and just kind of let him be as he was. And like, that says a lot, because that actually is them literally revealing that there is still kind of actually very akin to me, I think, as a kid being in it. The feeling of being in it and being intelligent enough to know, like, this is all fucking bullshit. This is dumb. This is a waste of my time, and it's boring as fuck. Like, God, I hate these people. Like, I hate being here. I don't want to be. That's what that is. And again, because it's their own members, and I guarantee he wouldn't have chosen to be there if he could have. That's exactly why that's reflected, because it's genuinely how he feels. Like, it's very clear. Like, he's not invested in this at all. He doesn't believe it. He doesn't want to be there. And I love that. I love that that's there now forever.
And my friends, we didn't watch it because we were too goody two-shoes, and we wanted to fold our arms and look down on other people who did watch the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings series. They get so obsessed with avoiding anything supernatural, but having to do with spirits. Like, if it's supernatural as a superhero, that's totally fine. But if that superhero has anything that's witchy or wizardy, then it turns into a lot more of a gray area. But certainly, anything.
No Pirates of the Caribbean.
Like a horror movie that has to do with demon possession was an absolute non-starter for every single Jehovah's Witness for years and years and years, and probably still to this day.
Unless you're one of those hypocritical elder families, then you definitely watched The Exorcist, and you watched a bunch of other things like that. And you watched it with your fellow Jehovah's Witnesses because you had a party or you had a gathering over at your rich elder's house. And go figure, even their 14-year-old kids were intimately familiar with R-rated movies. And, all this, the rap and sexuality, or the violence and sexuality, and not just movies, but also in rap music and everything. And they're just intimately familiar with it all because they don't actually believe what the fuck they insist they do.
And yet Watchtower just decides to take it upon themselves and show that because it's in the Bible. And everyone who's ever been critical of how Watchtower talks about what media people can choose to watch, choose in air quotes, they always bring up the fact that, well, all of this stuff is in the Bible. There's magic and wizards and witches, and there's war, there's sex, there's gold.
Jesus himself is technically committing all the crimes, right? All the hideous things that would be considered magic today, or would be considered paganistic today, right? Which is like, the Eastern Esotericism movements and religions and mindsets and lifestyles. That's literally what Jesus emblematically represents. The monks, the famous monks up in the monasteries way up in the high Himalayas, in Nepal, and in Kashmir and Jammu, and in the Tibetan plateau, and in Bhutan, Assam, whatever, they're all up there, and they can completely be impervious to the even the most harshest of weather conditions up there, outside, just in their usual robes, and nothing else. And they will, and sandals, and it can be the middle of winter in the middle of a whiteout, and wind chills probably 80, 90, 100 degrees below. And they literally have been documented in photos and videos and writing multiple times over the years, literally having zero impacts from any of the weather or environmental conditions that they are out there for hours in meditating. And then on top of that, they literally have been documented in the same exact all three formats of levitating off the ground on average by about a foot while they're meditating and while they're out in those conditions. Literally any conditions. It's incredible, right? But that's the thing, is that that's a false religion, and that's paganistic because it's old world and it's magic or something to them, and to most actually Christian religions. And yet you have Jesus himself, who is a Jew, by the way, and he himself is out here, walking on water, and he's apparently exorcising demons just by telling him to shut the fuck up and get the fuck out. Pointing an accusatory finger and say, "Be gone!" And just, they obliged. And the Lord was pleased. Probably a little too much. He splooged everywhere. Anyway, but, just like, it's all stupid, right? And then, the walk on water, he could just manifest food out of thin air. Supposedly. He could do all these different things. He could walk through fire. He literally was able to reverse incurable diseases and what would even nowadays be lethal wounds, like all the way down to, of course, minor ones and afflictions, and all of that's supposedly documented and proven. But that's all 100% paganistic. That's all 100% spiritual and esoteric, right? That's all, therefore, technically what they would define as magic and everything, but somehow it's conveniently, it's totally fine as long as the name Jesus is attached to it. Then it's completely excusable. You see, apparently, it's also stupid. You can just see how illogical and dumb this argument is that they have, and how hypocritical it is, and thus all of Christianity collectively actually is highly hypocritical in that way. And so many other ways. Actually, I highly recommend you check out episode 5 of the podcast I co-host with my friend Sean, Off the Cuff, because in that episode, we actually go into depth and we talk about these kinds of things. And one of those topics is Christian fallacies, because it's actually based entirely, and we go into that naturally on the flow, off of talking about the actual true history of a lot of Christian traditions and beliefs and structures, because it all is hijacked from paganism and, esotericism and all that. And it's just utterly insane or ridiculous that people still buy into this bullshit. And then even the way that they view Jesus as like a demigod. But we go into talking about that. And my buddy Sean is devoutly, biblically Jewish. So he is intricately familiar with biblical Hebrew. I mean, it's almost like his mother tongue at this point. And same with the old Koine Greek at the time of the Dead Sea Scrolls and of, all the biblical acts that were happening, and obviously all the biblical work. And basically, we just talk about it at length. And so I highly recommend you check out that episode, because it's the first time in the episodes, and I think it's still the only time in the episodes, that we actually spent some good time on talking about spirituality. We talked about the quantum realm and quantum sciences. We talked about Christian fallacies, of course. We talked about, he talked a little bit about and explained a little bit of his biblical Judaism. We talked actually about Jesus himself. We talked about all these different things like that. I talked a little bit about, the Jehovah's Witness experience. I mean, it's, and also just even more kind of in those veins. It's very interesting episode. So if you're into this kind of stuff, definitely check that episode out. It's going to be out Wednesday, May 13th, on Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific time or 3 p.m. UTC. That episode premieres on our YouTube channel, which is official OTC Pod. And then obviously we have a clips channel. Just might as well throw that in there since I already aforementioned the podcast.
Gore, there's prostitutes, there's people trying to claim the throne through assassinations and killings. There is everything that you can imagine. that you'd find in Hollywood. There are stories in the Bible that are very similar to that. So why is it okay to like consume that from the Bible or now from jw.org? Well, if we portray magic and spirits and ghouls and goblins, that's okay. But if you go out and watch a Hollywood production, that's the wrong type of demon possession. It's not governing body approved. It doesn't really make sense that they would go out and do this. I understand they're trying to stick to the integrity of like, well, we're going to make the good news according to Jesus, and it's going to be a 1-to-1 of what you read in the Bible. And that's in the Bible, so that's what we're doing. Okay, fair enough. But drop this clownery then of always talking about, oh man, there was a demon, there was a ghost. I couldn't watch Ghostbusters, for crying out loud. Ghostbusters was off the table for me growing up because ghosts, bad. But then whenever good news according to Jesus and you have ghost Satan floating around, no big deal. It's so hypocritical that they, for their basically entire existence, have been so stringent on how they view Hollywood productions. And now that they're just, whatever, let's just let it run. It really just irks me. It really annoys me more than anything else. It's not like it's that big of a deal at the end of the day in the grand scheme of things, but personally, it's annoying.
That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in whatever the next video might be. Goodbye.